So this is my Silver Sky SE. It's been pretty heavily modded at this point. So I bought it from Reverb for around £350, which is a bit of a bargain. It was originally an evergreen, but I bought it as a modding platform originally. So the things that I've done, completely refinished it in a sort of deep metallic purple nitro colour. I've put 3 bare knuckle pickups in, so it's a set of the Rabia triptych pickups. They're sort of designed with a more modern voice, but so if you're using and playing heavier music, but they can also do that vintage thing, and they're really articulate. They really cut through with fuzz and distortion. They're great pickups. The fretboard, even though it is rosewood, I wanted it a little bit darker, so I used some Monty's relic wax on that to darken it a bit more. I've rounded the fretboard edges, rolled them, sanded them, because it was just a little bit kind of flat feeling on the edges for me. Another thing that I did that I've really got into doing recently is if I've got a guitar with a bare wood back, which this did, it was a satin kind of bare wood finish on the back of the neck. So I used some of the leftover nitro lacquer, sprayed the back of the neck, and then once it's dried, I rub that down and sand it down, and it really gives it a kind of worn-in vintage feel, and if you've rolled the edges as well, it feels fantastic. So this feels absolutely great now. I've done a few other things, like replaced the switch with an Oak Grigsby, and it's got a Switchcraft jack now. I've completely shielded the cavities, which I always do on any single coil guitar I own. I think that's probably the full list. So I've done a little example, something a bit heavier, so you can get an idea of how great these pickups sound in a mix. And then after that, there are some sound samples, some clean and distorted sound samples, if you want to stick around for that.